Hello. Lincoln is focused on advancing critical minerals projects in South Australia and the Gawler Craton. There are three trends that we want to feed our product into: electrification, decarbonisation and securing supply chains. So we're focusing on copper, uranium, graphite, high purity iron and zinc. Now you probably know most of the others, but high purity iron, it's concentrated magnetite. Why is that important? 8% of carbon emissions come from iron ore. If you use magnetite in the process instead of hematite from the Pilbara, that gets it down to 3. If you use gas in the process, it's less than that, and if you use hydrogen, it's 0. So you'll hear more and more about high purity iron, which is effectively just magnetite concentrate. We've got three ways we're believing we're creating value. We've got a high value, high quality, 100% owned assets. We've got copper, zinc, which we're in discovery, which I'll talk about. Uranium's greenfield. High purity iron, which is feasibility and approvals. The Chinese spent 70 million on this project. And the graphite, we've already got a mining lease. We're at feasibility and secondary approvals. We've also got $100 million worth of data, which we actively mine, and we're active in our portfolio management. So this year, we've got goals for delineating the size of our prize from Merimbri, which I'll just tell you shortly why we're so excited about that. Exploring our Eyre Peninsula assets. Now, we've got magnetite and graphite. Both of those are at late stage development, so we're looking for other non-dilutive forms to progress those. And in the next 5 months, we've got a news flow that's quite strong. A little bit of history about Lincoln. In 2017, Lincoln went into hibernation. The company stalled. In 2023, it got refinanced, new shareholders, new board. I came on about 14 months ago. So in that time, we've gone from a small resource of graphite, we've doubled the resource, we've doubled the production rate and the feasibility. We rediscovered within the assets our SA's best undeveloped project, magnetite project, and that's a feasibility. The copper discovery, which I'll talk about shortly, and in 2007 to 2011, Lincoln explored for uranium, so we're refreshing that profile. So we've created a lot of value in 14 months. We're market cap's at about 12 now, and it's my job to make people realise that we've got a lot of value in our company. When you're looking for projects, the best way to do it is to find areas that have got high success rate for discoveries. South Australia is amazing. It's got 10% of the world's copper in reserve, a fifth of the world's uranium in resource, and we've got 5 permitted mines. Graphite, we've got 66% of the confirmed graphite, and we've got 43% of Australia's magnetite. So this is the right place to look. In terms of critical minerals and jurisdiction, having the Australian brand on critical minerals has a lot of value. In terms of, and I'm a mining engineer, I mean, when I'm looking at projects, I mean, we've got 2 nearby towns that have got airports, skilled workforce, we've got power, we've actually got the 132k regional power going over most of our leases. Water, South Australia is building a desal plant for the region. Ports, there are multiple ports, and there are 2 approved but not built ports 60 kilometres from our magnetite projects. And Port Adelaide is one of 2 that can export uranium. So, Merimbri Copper. We are in the Gawler Craton, which holds massive projects. So this hole, our discovery hole, which we announced in December, now this hole should not have been drilled. It was so we got 29.5 at 0.8% copper, 7.5% lead and 1.9% zinc. Now, Centrex in 2011 had the rights for magnetite. Lincoln had the rights for every other mineral. Centrex was doing its PFS for Bungalow. It had 3 rigs drilling, and it was on night shift, and the driller was meant to drill 2 meters, through the banded iron formation and drill 2 meters past the contact. Night shift, it kept on drilling. The geologist came along, saw the massive sulphide, got excited, and they drilled for another 3 shifts. But there was no commercial value to Centrex. So they rang up Lincoln. Lincoln was focused on its graphite, which was really hot back in 2012. So nothing was progressed. And when Lincoln stalled in 2007, this hole was forgotten until now. It's been great for us because out of the 266 holes drilled, 38 of them had punched through to the formation. And they're only stubs of 2 to 15 metres, and only a few of those were assayed for base metals. But it's been able to give us enough demonstration to say we've got mineralised zone over a 7 kilometre plus distance. And we've done that very quickly. The obvious thing is we're now going to go and re-assay all those, which will be done, which will be cheap and quick. So that's what we're doing. We're going to work out how big, over the next 5 months, how big the prize is and drill it. And we'll have several target zones. Also our uranium. Our uranium's our secondary focus. We've got 3 target areas. One of them is upstream from Alligator Energy. And Eyre Peninsula is becoming an emerging province for uranium. And all of ours have already got drill rigs, holes on them and soil samples. So we will progress that. So our focus there is we've got 2 of our areas developing drill targets, and Jungle Dam, which has already got drilling, will be follow-up drilling. Our major focus last year was graphite, and we believe we're the positioned to be the first movers. Why do I say that? Well, we've got a high grade at surface at 16%, existing mining lease. Our infrastructure is 12 k's for power, for water, 6 k's for power. We're 20 minutes from Port Lincoln and an airport, so cheap to start up. And we're cash flow positive throughout the industrial metal cycle. So that is a cracker, but the project is there for, we're looking for alternative funding, whether it's government or whether it's offtake or downstream. We've also got the best undeveloped high purity asset by grade, size and proximity to infrastructure for South Australia. If you see the one above the green dot, which is ours, now that's Cymex. So Cymex has got the best, but they're mining it, and and with all of our infrastructure, it's awesome. So focus is on copper exploration and defining how big that prize is, and it is the potential for a major discovery, and we'll find out in the next 6 months. Uranium will tick along, and as I said, we'll be looking for business partners for the others. So Lincoln, we've got a diversified 100% owned high value critical minerals projects. We've got over $100 million worth of data that we can mine, and that's including social, environmental and feasibility. We are very practical about being market driven and selecting which we progress based on raising cheap capital, and the near term focus is our copper and uranium. Thank you for listening.